2020 was supposed to be my year launching my new business, Britt Dixon Media,
Yeah.
communications agency, media, PR, content creation, social media. And then just as we were sort of launching off, COVID-19 hit. So although I've had to do a bit of a pivot right now, get a little bit creative with how I interview people like this,
Yeah.
rather than in person, it's been pretty exciting.
You're watching Quarantine Catch-Ups, only on Corkscrew TV.
Hey, Britt, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. So, it's been a while since we've seen each other. Normally, we see each other pretty regularly, but a couple of things have changed. One is a global pandemic, and two is the birth of Britt Dixon Media. So
That's right.
you're kind of spreading your wings a little bit. So tell me about what you've been doing.
Okay, so 2020 was supposed to be my year launching my new business, Britt Dixon Media. And then just as we were sort of launching off, COVID-19 hit, everything sort of spiraled, I guess. And it's forced me to pivot. But the great thing is that so many eyes are on social media now. They're online. You guys know with the success of your YouTube that it's actually a good time to start a new business with a focus on online media and content creation because people are seeing how valuable this tool is.
Well, I can imagine. And I hope I would imagine, like most of us, you've experienced some anxiety just because all the rules have changed. The rule book was kind of thrown out the window, and so everybody's adapting. We've been talking to a lot of winemakers, a lot of winery owners, and people in the industry to find out how they're adapting. Some things have stayed the same, like agriculture. When you're growing grapes, none of that has stopped. But certainly the whole hospitality end of things, food service, tasting bars, all of that gone for right now. So what have you been experiencing? You've been talking to a lot of people too. Tell me some of your stories.
Yeah, so as you know, I really love to promote Ontario wine, and I love to tell stories about wine. Similar to you guys, I love to ask questions. I love to interview the people behind the wines. So we've really had to do a bit of a change when it comes to that. I've still been able to tell some really great stories of some local initiatives that are happening right now. Megalomaniac Winery, they've come up with a new wine label to honor healthcare workers, which is amazing. They did a tour where they dropped off cases of this wine, and some of the proceeds are going to Food Banks Canada. So I thought when I saw that, that's a really amazing story. That's a story I want to tell. Well, how do we do that? So we did a Zoom interview. I kind of asked for pictures and videos and things like that, all the elements that I needed for the story. So I guess it's kind of more like a producer role at this point because I can't be out there because of the physical distancing, but still able to tell some of those really great stories, which has still been exciting. And I think it's an exciting new challenge to see what you're able to accomplish, not being sort of one-on-one with the person, but using technology.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that the new label they came up with is directly targeted at frontline. And is it just healthcare, or is it just frontline workers across the board, or?
It's healthcare workers, and you know that winery is known for their playful labels, and they're all unique and different. So this one has a healthcare worker on the label. There's a red, there's a white. The way they put it was, it's saying thanks in true megalomaniac fashion. So I thought that was pretty cool.
We'll leave it to John Howard. I mean, he's a legend in the wine industry in Niagara for sure, in Canada. And like the name says, megalomaniac, I mean, he's a character, and whatever he does big. So
Absolutely.
You got to applaud him for that. So,
and I know you've been talking to a lot of producers, and I think it's really amazing to see how they've sort of adapted their businesses. You know, like we know from going to those beautiful tasting rooms, you stand at the tasting bar, you taste wine. It's such a unique and magical experience. Now those tasting rooms are full of wine boxes. They've been kind of changed into like a shipping warehouse. But it's really been amazing to see this support local initiative online. and the number of people who are supporting Ontario wineries right now. I mean, some really great deals on, case sales or free shipping and things like that. So I think it's really great to see right now that people are still supporting our local wineries in these times, especially.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, they're supporting the wineries, and sometimes it seems like not a negative connotation, but when you say support, it's like they need the help, and they're so integrated into the local economy that when you support a local winery, you're supporting your neighbor, you're supporting yourself. There's so many different businesses. I mean, wineries are an agricultural endeavor. There's manufacturing there, there are bottling plants, they're retail. They're so connected with restaurants and hospitality. And so supporting them is really supporting yourself. If you're drinking a bottle of wine, especially these days in Ontario, make it an Ontario wine, and you're only helping yourself. I mean, when we say we're supporting the wineries, it's not limited to that. There was an article that came out, CBC put out, about the Ontario wine industry is just feeling the pinch. And we've been talking to everyone, and they're doing well with online sales, but they're not doing better than what they would normally be doing. They've really felt it. So I would encourage people to, if you're going to have some wine, make it a VQA bottle. Get something from Ontario, because I mean, there's 450 grape growers. There's over 100 wineries. And I think that's the messaging that needs to go out, that we're all in this together, and they're our neighbors, and they're paying their taxes too. And so it helps everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have to remember that so much of a winery's business isn't just selling that wine. A lot of them have restaurants, a lot of them have events and different experiences. Visiting a winery in Niagara is a complete experience. So all of those other facets of their businesses are shut down right now. And so they're feeling the pinch. So, obviously buying local and supporting local and drinking local wine is one step. But when all of this ends, we've got to get out there and, visit those tasting rooms and go to those events. And, we'll all be itching to do that by that point anyway. So.
Well, that's true too. I mean, another component of it is a lot of those events have a charitable component to it. And I was talking to Betty Lou Suter from Community Care the other day, and she said, 21 of her 25 events have been canceled. And that's her primary method of funding. And so that changes, I mean, again, all interconnected. And so thinking locally, it's important to remember that when those events are canceled, those charities aren't getting the funds. The wineries aren't doing what they typically do. The hospitality sector, the restaurants, I mean, wow.
The hotels for overnight events, the hotels.
Yes, yeah. And I actually have, speaking of hotels, have you seen these shirts? Everyone's doing different things. This is from Heart of Niagara Hotels. They printed those up. They've raised over $20,000 already for frontline workers and
that's amazing.
That have been affected. Yeah, just selling those T-shirts. So, I mean, they're in the hotel industry and the restaurant industry, and both of them are completely affected. So it's a big deal. So you are doing media. So a lot of industries are turning to the internet to stay connected. We're doing these quarantine catch-ups because we can't film at the wineries right now, but it is a great way to see what everyone is doing. Have you got some plans for the short term?
I think right now this is such a great time to be able to, since we're stuck at home, to create content. So for me, I'm finding unique ways to do that, whether it's for myself or for my clients, and just using the technology that we have, which I think is pretty amazing to see what we can accomplish. And I think that if you weren't online before, if you weren't digital marketing before, this has definitely shown people and businesses how important that is, because right now that's the only way that they can reach their customers, their audience. So yeah, I think it's really exciting because, my background is in in television. I think in, video, and storytelling through video. So I think it's really exciting to see what will come out of this, and how we'll use those tools even more to connect with people and to reach audiences.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, in this, it's a strange time where we can't see each other, and so the only place that we see each other is on screens. And if you're not on a screen somewhere, people can't see you. And so that's, I mean, we've talked to across the board, all the wineries have turned to online, and some of them are doing a better job of it than others. And it's strategy. So it is pivoting, and I think you might find that this is fortuitous timing for you, because nothing, I mean, this is shining a light on how important what you do is.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, I think that it's been really interesting to see the different strategies that some of the wineries are taking. So the first one that comes to mind is Fielding Estates Winery, because they have really created this unique experience for people to look forward to every week. Their winemaker, Richie Roberts, is doing virtual tasting every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So same day, same time, a wine Wednesday. And, he's letting people know the wines that they're going to be tasting ahead of time. And then you can call the winery or order online, do a curbside pickup. I went to do my curbside pickup a few weeks ago. They're known for their Muskoka chairs. So they've got all the Muskoka chairs lined up out front, and they're all spaced out for, distancing. And there's wine boxes in different bags and pickups on each one with names on them. So it's really cool. So you look forward to that. You go, you do your curbside pickup, you log in, you sort of taste along with the winemaker. When I interviewed him about this initiative, he was talking about how a lot of people, some of the feedback he's getting is they're using it for a date night. They look forward to it. They connect with their friends. If you're, watching on Facebook with some of the other Facebook friends, you can sort of side message each other. So it's become a really interesting way for them to still get their products out there in front of people, still talk about their products. Because it's kind of hard if you haven't tried wine before to just order it online without tasting it.
No,
so to hear the winemaker talk about that, I think it's a pretty cool thing that they're doing.
Yeah, and for sure. And you're right about that. It is daunting to order online if you don't know much about wine. You don't have a lot of experience. So, and that's why, getting online, getting your face and your message and your personality out there, make it easy for people that can't get out and meet you to meet you and understand, what your label is all about. Because it's hard to sell on a little 3x4 label on the shelf at the LCBO. So
absolutely. And one of the things that I put out recently on my social media was that it's really important to remember that, people connect with people, not products or services. So yes, you're trying to sell wine, but they want to know the story behind the wine. They want to know the story of the people behind the wine. That building that connection, especially in a time like this when we rely so much online, goes a long way.
Yeah, no, that's true. So we would encourage people to get online and introduce themselves. So, well,
Absolutely.
it was great for you to take some time to talk to us and fill us in on what you're doing. I know we used to see you a lot at Brock, and
I know, I miss you.
yeah. Well, we'll look forward to doing some tasting, doing some work this summer at some wineries and some of the events that we'll undoubtedly see each other at.
Absolutely.
So I really appreciate it. Thank you, Britt. And we will talk to you soon.
Sounds good.